Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's go. 20 minutes late or something. It's not a big deal. Welcome back. Okay. So, Bitcoin has not really moved too crazy today. Maintained ourselves relatively stable and we've dropped to a low of about 90,827, but we're still at 92,000 currently. 92,479. Not bad. Still in the green. Everything is... I'm talking about the trends, right? The numbers are showing a bit red, but that's because we were doing so well yesterday. Deserved a break. Is that the top? No, absolutely not. We do have the strength to continue further. It's just going to take some time. What we would talk about today in terms of news, nothing too crazy. Not a lot has happened from Trump's end. Just more talks about Ukraine, trying to get that resolved, of course. We had the debate that happened at last between Peter Schiff and CZ, Changpeng Zhao from Binance. We're going to be discussing a little bit of that. I didn't get to fully watch it. But yeah, I was still working today. Tomorrow there's no work, and forever there will never be no work. There will be no work. I just did two negatives there. Okay, you get the point. So basically, what we were doing was at my work, unloading these boxes from these trucks, these trailers, right? So, I mean, yeah, that was done. We did two big trucks, and that's about it. That's all the work there was. So back to just doing nothing. Don't worry, I still have interviews planned coming up soon, especially with a bank. I can't wait for that one, but nothing immediate, nothing permanent, full-time, none of that mumbo jumbo. Still some potential part-time for future opportunities. That's the kind of thing I'm looking at. Not by choice, right? So it is what it is. We'll get to it whenever those come up in the next week or two. So yeah, the work that I was doing, it ended a bit sooner than anticipated, which I guess I should work slower next time. I'm just so fast when it comes to like physical labor. Sometimes, I don't know. Everybody else tells me I'm slow, but then, I don't know, I listen to music or something and then I'm just unstoppable. Happened at my last job as well. To the point where they ran out of parts as well, saying there's no parts to make for the month of December or for January, so we're going to start laying some people off again. So I'm like, okay, great, thanks so much. Guess I gotta slow down next time. Whatever. If anything does come back up, I'm sure I'll get called back if I'm not doing anything more important by then. But we'll see. What else is in the news? There was apparently economic data that I completely missed yesterday. Let me go to... just show me this week's data. What happened yesterday? Wednesday. Okay, we're not showing Wednesday or what? Here it is. ADP employment change. It's nothing too crazy. It's nothing official, but it is a good indicator to help us kind of determine what is happening in terms of employment change, because we're talking about the month of November here. What happened in the month of November, last month? We're not going to know until after the FOMC meeting, which will be December 10. I think that economic data is coming out like many days later. Don't remember exactly when. So we're basically going into this Fed interest rate cut decision meeting blind once again. Same deal as to what we experienced during the shutdown the month before in October. We were supposed to get our September jobs data, which we did not get that in October because the government was shut down. What did we have to rely on? The ADP, which is a private company that measures the same thing. Unreliable. See, previously they did have revision as well, so you can't really focus on it too much. But it does give you a slight idea as to what to expect, because normally we should be getting non-farm payroll data, the employment data, tomorrow, but that's getting delayed until after the FOMC meeting. I don't know why. We're just doing it. We just want to guarantee this rate cut is what it seems like, so hey, go for it. The less we know, the better. Ignorance is bliss, and flashbang warning. I'm going to be talking about this in my news section anyway, so I don't know why I'm going through it, but 5 days from now we are having that meeting, and it's very much looking in our favor. 87%. It was at 90% something yesterday. It was at 89 yesterday when I checked during the stream. I don't know, at some points it's rising or dropping, whatever the case is. We're still at a high percentage, 87%. So, I mean, I'm talking about the ADP, but I'm not even mentioning what happened. We lost jobs. We lost 32,000 jobs according to this private entity. Oh no. What do we do about it? Well, we're going to have to cut rates to boost the job market because forget about inflation, jobs market is suffering. And that's part of the reason why we had a rate cut in October. During the shutdown, we were not getting any economic data. We were hearing about all these government job layoffs, and not just specifically to the government, but overall, right? We kind of determined, yeah, you know what? This is a risk management cut. We're going to cut the rates just in case because we don't know for sure what's going to happen. So they did that. And ADP was the biggest contributor because, like I said, they have nothing to do with the government. It's based off private company estimates. So that's what happened yesterday, and that's part of the reason why we were also rising pretty good. Today, nothing. So, sure. Initial jobless claims, that's still a thing. 191,000. I guess below expectations, sure. Maybe that's why we didn't rise too much today. I would assume that. Oh, we are getting PCE data tomorrow, though, instead of the non-farm payroll data. Sure. But this is also super delayed. This is from the month of September. We're getting September economic data in December. We're not getting any October data ever. And then the November data is being delayed. So that's the state of the world we live in right now. Awesome. We're going into this other FOMC meeting blind. Sure. I mean, that's just in part to explain the volatility for today. Okay, there you go. Happy. What else is new? Okay, we're in an uptrend for Bitcoin. 15-minute chart. Any good entries? Maybe. Would have lost on that one regardless, I guess. I don't know. I would want Bitcoin to retrace a little bit further before, of course, we make our next leg higher, because that is what I'm expecting. We could expect some good volatility tomorrow. Today was nothing too crazy, like I said, so we maintained ourselves around, hovering around the top, which is perfectly fine, in my opinion. Uptrend is still there, which is great, and validates at 86,000. Bitcoin is looking healthy right now. Despite whatever you think, Bitcoin being at such a low price. Sure, yeah, if you zoom out, it does not look that good, but dude, we're fine. Okay, Ethereum, 3,170. Still in our uptrend, that's perfectly fine. It invalidates at 2,877. Still maintaining ourselves above 3,000, which is always good. So let's hope we can keep it that way. We did hit an overbought level. This was in part due to the Fusaka upgrade. I thought it would have been more of a like sell the news event, but it seems like the rest of the markets were just enjoying the day so much yesterday that the momentum kind of got the best of Ethereum, so it did its rise. We hit a high of 3,239 that day. Today's low was 3,064. A bit spooky, but still maintaining ourselves above 3,000, like I said. So that's the most important thing here. I know I have a downtrend line. We have to see how it behaves. Technically, we did remove this previous downtrend. So yeah, we are in an uptrend. And like I said, as long as we stay above 2,877 overall, we should maintain that uptrend perfectly fine. Okay. Solana down 3%, almost 4%. Current price is 139.72. NASA Discovery sparks tech optimism in Mars. Yes, Solana has everything to do with Mars, so that news is 100,000% true. Don't trust this AI, it's so dumb, it's fake news, okay? In case you didn't understand, that was sarcasm. So, whatever, forget that. I like the way it behaved over here. Not really, I don't like the fact that we dropped below it, but you know what? It followed technical analysis pretty perfectly. We hit a high of 146 on Solana and bounced from that level because I have a downtrend line drawn there, and the charts like to do whatever I draw on here. So that was perfect. We have since then hit a low of 137 today, and we have recovered to 139 like I said. Uptrend is there, confirmed. Invalidates at 128. We should be fine. Moving on to SUI. I like it. 166, finally. Maintaining ourselves above that. Super trend is on its way up as well. No clear uptrend that I could draw for you right now, so I'm going to give it some time. Wait for this to kind of regulate. Wait for us to make if we do make any lows, before we can continue higher. Because ultimately the previous trend flip failed, and it's the same situation happened with a lot of other altcoins, so you know, you can't expect too much from these altcoins. We need Bitcoin, of course, to perform well first. Ethereum to cross 4,000. OBS disconnected. Am I back? My OBS disconnected or something. Okay, I think we're back. It's because you guys aren't liking the video, that's why. That's fine, though. Yeah, that's what it is for Chainlink. We need to make same deal I was going to say, a lower low, and for our next leg up, that's what I'm expecting for it. So that we can draw a decent uptrend on it. Thank you. Thanks for confirming I'm back. Awesome. That's kind of what I would expect for Chainlink. Lowest point being like 1275 and above. Between 1275 and 13, we'll say. Expecting a low. Of course, the catalyst for this, the best case scenario for a catalyst like that would be PCE data coming in against our expectations, meaning that we are seeing inflation on the rise. We don't want to see inflation on the rise because it will hurt the chances for a rate cut. And the Fed will be stuck between this very difficult position of deciding what do we focus on, this rising inflation or this rising unemployment, whatever the case is, right? The jobs. I think they're going to focus more on the jobs. So I'm still willing to believe we have the rate cut in the bag. I just want to say that. But ultimately, it's their decision. We've got our pals, Waller, don't make me remember their names, Moran, and the other dude. I think I have their names noted, don't I? Hold on. Waller, Moran, and Williams. Oh, it was a lady, I think. I don't know which one is. I don't remember which one's the lady. It's either Williams or Waller. I think it's Williams. They're on our side. They're willing to cut the rates. The others are like, I don't know if we should. Yeah, you should. And then you got two grumpy old people that don't want to cut it. And then you have Jerome Powell, who is, well, he's Jerome Powell. He's too late, as Trump says. Hyperliquid's down 6%. Why are we down? Because NASA makes a groundbreaking Mars discovery. This has nothing to do with Mars. What is going on? What is this groundbreaking Mars discovery? Mars news. Mars Perseverance rover records lightning on Mars 2 days ago. Time travels faster on Mars. Yeah, we don't care. Electric sparks, dust devils on Mars. Dude, there's literally nothing going on Mars. We see the same stuff on planet Earth. Why do we care? I'm being so pessimistic about Mars. I like Mars. Mars is cool. The whole thought of going to another planet. But come on, what does this have to do with cryptocurrency? Is this like the zodiac signs for it or whatever? Who cares? That being said, okay, we're still on an uptrend for Hyperliquid overall. Not oversold. We're fine, despite the fact that we're down 6%. It's because we had such a great day yesterday. We hit a high of, what was that? $36.17. No, yeah, 36.17. And then we've retraced overall, bouncing off our pivot level of 33.03. Lowest point was 33.07. And we've bounced back up to 33.81. Very slightly. We're on our way back up here. This downtrend is gone, so I'm going to gladly remove that. And it seems like the uptrend it's found its confirmation level to be about where our support is, which is great. I like that. Support, local bottom, pivot level, super trend, all pointing towards $29 and we'll say 30 cents on average, averaging all of those out. In an ideal situation, hold on, is the weekly trend still? Are we saved here? We are still saved. That is crazy. Potentially, great opportunity on Hyperliquid that even myself would consider at this point, despite me being butthurt after losing a lot. I think I would love to buy right down over here. $29 something. We'll see. Should be good. All right, great. Moving on. BitTensor, $290, 38 cents. Same deal to what we saw with Hyperliquid. Trend has officially switched back into the green. And I'm liking this low level over here at 254. 255, maybe I could round that to. In between 251 and 254, okay? That's a good area. Because we would be buying when it's oversold. I would expect it to be oversold around this area. And if we do maintain our uptrend, great. If not, I should use a stop loss and take... I just realized I already have an open position on BitTensor, so I don't even know if what I'm planning to do would actually work. Maybe I'll open the position in like standard futures. I should be fine, just to open a separate position. Otherwise, we'll just go lower and it's all over. But I don't think it should be all over. We're having good stuff with BitTensor still. The halving is happening. Surely that's still the news event, though. Who knows? We'll see. Aptos underperforming like crazy. AI breakthrough. AI has nothing to do with Aptos. 194 is the current price. We still got to break above the $2.10 resistance. It's painful to see Aptos down here, but more power to it. Down 4%, by the way, for absolutely no reason. Okay, new all-time high imminent as Bitcoin surges past 92,000. This AI is so off. I hate it. Just because we broke 92,000 doesn't mean we're going to hit an all-time high. It could be the start of something bigger, and that is what I've been saying. I even posted it on my Discord. The fact that we flipped the trend back over, I think we have the chance to do something great with Bitcoin. Good area for accumulation for me to consider re-entry would be around 86,000. High 86,000. Below 87, we'll say. Hey, we'll see what happens, okay? I'm liking it so far, though. Great. That is all I have for technical analysis. Let's move on to our news. how am I doing with time? I'm doing fine, dude. I know I started a bit late. I'm sorry, okay? I was really struggling to find stuff to talk about, to be honest, but we still have stuff to talk about nonetheless. So let's get to it. We know that this is working behind the scenes. We had our special envoy something, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner go to visit Putin, or Russian officials, yeah, it was Putin, in Moscow, the Kremlin, to discuss if there is a way to end the war. Nothing came of it. Now I guess we're just kind of waiting on Ukraine. The 28-point peace plan proposal is still there. The European Union and Ukraine have modified it, much to nobody's liking. So, yeah, I guess we're just waiting for them to be like, you know what, just accept it, please, end the war. Trump says that the U.S. is working very hard for a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, and we know that Putin got his meeting. Now Trump's team wants Ukraine at the table. A Ukrainian delegation led by top security and military officials is now en route to the United States. Okay. Not for diplomacy at the UN or NATO, but for direct talks with Trump's envoys about a possible peace deal with Russia. Let's hope so. Please do something. Literally what I was just talking about here, by the way, unplanned, but this matters because it marks a shift in who controls the narrative around Ukraine's future. After Kushner and Witkoff leading secretive negotiations with Putin in Moscow just days ago, Washington's official foreign policy seems increasingly outsourced to Trump's private circle. Rustem Umerov and Andriy Natov aren't just diplomats, they're Kyiv's national security and military chiefs. Their presence signals that these talks are serious, even if the format bypasses traditional state channels. Trump called the Moscow talks very good, but no deal was reached. Now the U.S. side wants Ukraine to engage, not in Geneva, not in Brussels, but in Miami. Ooh, are we going to Mar-a-Lago? Is Mar-a-Lago in Miami? Dude, oh my gosh. Mar-a-Lago, am I crazy? It's in Palm Beach, Florida, not in Miami, Florida. Okay, well, close enough. You know what? Miami. Why it matters? The balance of power in this war may be shifting from public negotiations to private leverage, from NATO unity to personal diplomacy. If Ukraine is pressed into a deal shaped more by US-Russia interests than its own sovereignty, the global message is clear. Smaller nations fight, greater powers decide. I hope that this actually gets to something, because for once it seems like we're not including Europe, the European Union. And I feel like that's what's been holding us back this whole time. Because, I mean, United States and Russia, they kind of got, yeah, we can accept these terms to end the war. Does Ukraine accept it? Ukraine goes, hey, European Union, should I accept this? And they're like, no, don't accept it and change all this stuff. And then now, you know, United States is like, hey, here's the modified script. And Russia's like, no, we don't like it. Because Europe got involved. Or it's just, they just messed up the whole thing. So we shall see what comes of that. Does it say when this is happening? It doesn't say when. Okay, well, whatever. Should be happening soon, though. And Europe, of course, is growing increasingly concerned, especially since it seems like they're looking at this like, oh, it's the United States now siding with Russia while we have to stand up for Ukraine, right? Because if we lose Ukraine, who's to guarantee that Russia will not invade the rest of Europe? Obviously, does not seem Russia wants to do that, but hey, who knows? All right, anyways. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz warned Zelensky during a now leaked call, telling him you need to be extremely careful in the coming days. The Americans are playing games both with you and with us. And other leaders also echoed alarm. Macron from France, the US might betray Ukraine on the issue of territory. That is one of their concerns, is Ukraine losing territory. But the United States agreed to, in the 28-point peace plan that we went through, for Russia to keep the territory that they took over, right, during the period of the war. So that it seems like what's in it for Russia is that they didn't end up wasting 2 years or however long, 3 years now, maybe. It's about to be 3 years in February for this war. Like, all that was just for nothing for Ukraine to get all their territory back? No, whatever. They can have some bit of land. Congratulations. Your war efforts were worth something. But you're not allowed to have the whole entirety of Ukraine, of course. And Ukraine is going to have to accept that, according to the United States, but seems like they don't want to. Or neither does the European Union, because they think that's losing, which it kind of is. But hey, give up a bit of land and survive. It's kind of my mentality, but we'll see. Stubb, I don't know who Stubb is. We must not leave Ukraine or Vladimir alone with these guys. Seems like Ukraine is going to do it without Europe anyway. Ruth says that we have to protect Vladimir. And yeah, I don't know who these guys are. Stubb, search. Who are you? Alexander Stubb, president of Finland. Okay, who cares about Finland? Am I right? Searching for Ruth, the Secretary General of NATO. I remember this guy. Went to visit the United States that one time. Okay, so that's what their opinion on all of this is. Opinion discarded. Moving on. It seems like Zelensky is also under attack during this whole thing. Zelensky's under a lot of pressure. We've talked about him a lot. He might resign. He might run away. He doesn't want to give up the presidency. He wants to prolong the war to stay in power. His approval ratings are down the toilet. He's in a lot of trouble. His closest people have been caught committing fraud. None of it is going his way. And now there are drones attempted to target Zelensky's plane in Ireland. Apparently he's in Ireland. When Volodymyr Zelensky's aircraft was departing, from Ireland, he was there then, large drones were heading toward the Dublin airport area, according to the journal. Who are these drones from? I don't think we know yet. The drones reached the point where the presidential plane was supposed to pass. A serious incident was avoided only because Zelensky's flight arrived slightly ahead of schedule. Irish security services determined that the drones were large, extremely expensive, military-grade devices, and that the incident can be classified as a hybrid attack. Journalists note that despite extensive security measures, including a military vessel in the Irish Sea and an Air Force plane, authorities were unable to prevent the drones from entering the area. Were they Russian? Russian drones? I don't think we know, but yeah, Ireland failed. That's crazy. Step it up, Ireland. Get Conor McGregor to do something. Tim Walz is still coping and seething after Trump did the big Thanksgiving post. I'm sure we all saw. I read it out loud too. He's Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who was criticized by Trump for the whole issue with mass immigration of Somalis. This is the guy that was about to be the vice president, by the way, if Kamala Harris won. Trump called him a retard, and Tim Walz is upset that now everybody is calling him a retard in public, now that Trump did it. People are driving by my house and using the R word. This creates danger. Well, okay. I don't know. What do we feel about this guy? Look at this. Sailor and CZ have met for the first time in person. The Binance event happened. I think it was a Binance event. Something about Binance. Surely. Binance event. What was it called? Here it is. Binance Blockchain Week, Dubai 2025. From December 3 to December 4. Today's December 4, so this happened today. They met up. These two legends. Here they are. This was the place where Peter Schiff was also going to go. Don't know Peter Schiff? The guy is very pro-gold and anti-Bitcoin and crypto, okay? That's all you gotta know about him. He challenged both of these guys, by the way, our Bitcoin evangelist and our favorite scammer, to a debate about tokenized gold and why Bitcoin is garbage and gold is better because it's physical gold and it's gold. From my understanding, Michael Saylor dodged, or he just didn't reply to the debate. But CZ fully accepted it. We covered that live, and it actually happened. They actually got into their debate, so here it was. I'm not going to show the whole thing, just go look it up, but I'll just summarize the important talking points. We had Binance founder CZ showing Peter Schiff the advantages of Bitcoin over gold. I'm assuming he would have talked about, oh, you can bring this anywhere, right? And he even handed him this slab of gold, right? And he asked Peter Schiff to verify, can you verify that this golden bar is real? Schiff was unable to verify it without having extra tools. CZ seized the moment to push the point that Bitcoin transactions are verified instantly on the blockchain, while gold still struggles with basic authentication. Easy, won the debate, basically. No, but he had his counterpoints, so we're going to go over them. We're not going to be biased over here, okay? I tried to get all perspectives, all talking points from my feed, but I didn't have too much time to go through it all. But here are the biggest ones, I guess. Peter Schiff rejected the idea that Bitcoin is the digital gold while speaking at the Binance Blockchain Week presented by Silo. It's digital, but it isn't gold, is what he said. Tokenized gold would be digital gold because it's actually gold. And that's just something that he wants to do, is make like an actual tokenized gold to defeat the purpose of Bitcoin and to basically, if you have, I mean, isn't this basically buying spot gold? You go anywhere and you have proof that this gold belongs to you because you bought it on your whatever broker you have, your account. And then, I don't know, maybe you go and say, hey, I want to redeem this for actual physical gold, and you have proof that you bought it, so they will give you the gold. I'm sure Wealthsimple is doing something like that. They literally made a whole event around it. But he wants to do it like this, and tokenized gold to defeat crypto, I guess. Another thing that he said is people who have lost a lot of money in Bitcoin don't even realize they've lost it yet because they still have the Bitcoin. I'm assuming he means that Bitcoin is worthless? I don't know. Those are the main talking points, sure. Now that we're on the topic of CZ, yeah, by the way, I think Michael Saylor did indeed dodge. There's no mention of him at all in this whole event. except for that one photo with CZ. Congrats, they finally met. Aster team burns $80 million from buyback wallet. Also, sorry, that CZ picture with Michael Saylor could very well be AI, and I could be giving you misinformation, so just confirm that. I could be wrong, but we'll see. I can just look it up, can't I? Saylor CZ. Surely it will be the first thing that pops up. It looks like the image is real. Okay, there you go. Yeah, first meeting in person with Saylor. Good job. I skipped over Aster. But yeah, Aster is doing buybacks. Good. Is Aster moving at all? Compared to Hyperliquid. What happened with the recent rally? Just a recovery. We saw it drop to 88 cents. Recovered back to, what is this? $1.08, $1.09. Yeah, $1.08. And today we dropped to a low of 102. Right now it's at 105. All right. Forbes reports that Trump, which Trump? I'm guessing the whole family Trump, has lost $1 billion in net worth. No, I'm assuming this is Donald. He lost $1 billion in net worth since the summer as his family's crypto ventures, from American Bitcoin to World Liberty Finance, have taken substantial losses in recent months. What, you think Trump is gonna eat that $1 billion loss? Surely he's gonna do something to get those numbers back up eventually, right? Not while he's still in power. Hey, we'll see. What else we got? Rate cut probability hit 94% for December 10. So at one point it was at 94%, as I mentioned, or at least it shows this in the prediction markets. This comes from the ADP data that we were discussing earlier. It came in soft. Employment fell by 32,000 in November, despite expectations for a 5,000 increase. Markets are now pricing in a 94% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut next week. With QT winding down and a rate cut on the deck, the stage could be set for a broader crypto recovery. We shall see. I think it's too soon to speak. We gotta wait till that PCE data comes out tomorrow. That'll be an important bit of information. It's the Fed preferred inflation meeting. Okay, inflation reading. Dude, I can't talk. All right. Apart from that, we've got a lot of bullish stuff to worry about. Well, you shouldn't be worrying if it's bullish. You should be celebrating. We have the biggest technological boom since the internet, ongoing Fed interest rate cuts into the AI boom. Trump's impending new Fed chair announcement should be happening January. The guy will be sworn in well, I guess when Jerome Powell's term ends, which should be at the end of the first quarter of the year, next year. We're pretty sure it's Kevin Hassett. It's got to be. $700 billion plus in annual technology capex. The end of quantitative tightening. Crypto should crash, but afterwards will recover. Trust me. Widespread deregulation initiatives by the SEC, which we have covered. The most market-conscious U.S. president ever, which is true. The guy, as much as he doesn't admit it, he is checking the stock markets every day too. $2 trillion plus in annual deficit spending, 13% year-over-year growth in the S&P 500. Is that true? What was our growth so far? If it's only 13%, I think that's average, but come on. This year was a pretty decent year, and that seems a bit pathetic. We shall see. I could switch this over to a 12-month. Awesome. What is this? Okay, here we go. It's a 16% rise. So, you are lying to us. Nice. Yeah, from January 2025. Yeah, this is a 16% increase. Oh, this one said 13%. Okay, fair enough. Close enough, rather. The return of global fiscal stimulus, that is also happening. What's the bear case here? What is the bear case here? Can we ask Rock? What is... Okay, my caps lock. What is the bear case here? Doing research. Give me a real answer, please. What is this? Wall of text. Elevated valuations, policy risks, structural fragilities could trigger a sharp correction or even a bear market, 20% plus drop by early 2026. Dude, again, with the conflicting data, all fundamentals are pointing toward the upside. Everything looks strong and healthy and great right now for the future. But then we also have to worry about other stuff that could just destroy everything. Dude, which is it? Analysts predict a 50% odds for a downturn. Yeah, great. That's really helpful. I also give you a 50% chance that markets will rise and drop. So pick your poison. Oh, here's bearish factors. AI hype bubble bursting. Sure. Fed being hawkish, that could also happen. Loss of Fed independence, politicized policy errors, that could also be an issue. That's why some people are skeptical of Hassett, because we know that Hassett will do whatever Trump does, but then we want the Fed to be independent. We don't want the Fed to be influenced by the president, which, I mean, for better or for worse, Jerome Powell has been doing a good job at ignoring all of Trump's insults. But it's like, you know, Trump is kind of taking advantage of that. He's allowed to like yell and bark at Jerome Powell because he knows that Jerome can't do anything about it other than just do his job. Even though Trump criticizes him all a lot. That's pretty funny though. CapEx inefficiency could also happen. Shadow banking strains. Liquidity drain from deficits. Treasury credibility erosion. Antitrust backlash over regulation, iron. These are all bearish factors that I'm reading, by the way. Tariff wars, there's no way this is a real word. Oh. Fiscal recklessness, deficit-fueled inflation, hyperinflation risk, earnings quality issues, customer exhaustion. I don't think so. We saw a lot of people spending on Black Friday. Or maybe I gave you two reasons for it, didn't I? Like when we talked about Black Friday spending, it's either people don't have money to the point where they see Black Friday as the only opportunity to actually spend, or people do have money and they're like, everything is on sale. We're just going to spend again. Because, I mean, compared to previous years, yeah, people are spending more on a Black Friday. But anyway. China slowdown, Bank of Japan, rate hikes, global headwinds. Yeah, that could also be an issue. And then here's the details for all of it if you really want to go into more detail. I'm not reading all that because I must move on. Yeah. Okay. Interesting insights. So, hey, there's a case for both. Pick your poison, like I said. CFTC did something nice today. We already know that we can buy Bitcoin ETFs like iBit on regulated exchanges, but the Bitcoin inside those ETFs still comes from unregulated crypto markets. We see, who is it? It's usually BlackRock moving things over to Coinbase to either buy or sell, whatever the case may be. I think Coinbase is regulated, so what do you mean unregulated? Whatever. The new CFTC decision is different. For the first time ever, spot crypto itself can trade on fully regulated US exchanges like the CME, CBOE, or NASDAQ. Okay, that might be pretty good. Spot crypto trades on the same regulated venues as S&P futures, oil, gold, Forex. Institutions can trade actual crypto, not just an ETF. That's good. Banks and pensions that were legally blocked can now participate. The underlying market becomes federally regulated, and crypto gets integrated into the US financial system, not just wrapped around it through ETFs. This would just ruin ETFs, but it's good because people can buy spot crypto, from what I understand. Here's the full announcement. I don't know if I want to read all this, dude. Carolyn Pham announced that listed spot cryptocurrency products will be trading for the first time in U.S. federally regulated markets on CFTC registered futures exchanges. It's going to be like operating, trading our indices, right? Surely. Thanks to President Trump's leadership, la la la. Surely there's another post about it. Dude, here, this post. CFTC announces that listed spot cryptocurrency products will begin trading for the first time in U.S. federally regulated markets on CFTC registered futures exchanges. Okay, I guess this is good overall. And they mentioned it's part of making America the crypto capital of the world, something like that. Thanks to President Trump's leadership to reclaim its place as the world leader in digital asset markets. Okay, well, thanks, Chairman Pham. That's good overall. I like that. Larry Fink confirmed what we were all thinking. He says that he knows some sovereign wealth funds that were buying Bitcoin, and they bought more in the 80s. This means like while Bitcoin was at 80,000, whatever, the banks were buying, and Larry Fink knew about it. Despite we see BlackRock selling, but hey, whatever. He knows of other people that were buying. Hearing this from the world's top fund manager is insane. Okay, cool. More banks are allowing you to buy Bitcoin and crypto. We already got confirmation that Vanguard is allowing you to do that. Bank of America recommends people to have 4% of their entire portfolio in crypto. Didn't know we can give financial recommendations like that, but here we are in 2025. And the cherry on top, Charles Schwab. $12 trillion assets under management, also practically as big as Vanguard. Same deal. They said that they will offer Bitcoin and Ethereum trading in early 2026. Vanguard is a bit more, though. They expanded more, saying, yeah, you can buy a lot more other cryptocurrencies. And it's effective immediately, I'm pretty sure. So there you go. Even Russia's kind of getting into the action. The second largest bank, VTB, will be launching Bitcoin and crypto trading in 2026. Good. A lot of good stuff planned as well. Argentina's state oil company, YPF, is evaluating whether to allow cryptocurrency payments for gasoline and diesel at its service stations. On behalf of the planet, yeah, do it. Tether, what are they doing? They made a single largest donation to a UK political party, the largest donation in history, £9 million to reform UK, according to Sky News. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot about Reform Party in the UK. Seems like they are indeed gaining popularity, and Tether is all for it. So, well, there you go. I hope they didn't sell Bitcoin to fund that, or sell the gold. Also Tether is buying a lot of gold for whatever reason. But yeah. Tom Lee, this is like the Michael Saylor of Ethereum. He bought another $150 million worth of Ethereum. I think I wanted to cover this yesterday, but I just couldn't find the post. Well, here it is. Bitmine continues to aggressively accumulate Ethereum at an unmatched pace, while many other treasuries have pulled back. The company now holds over 3% of the total Ethereum supply, aiming to reach 5%. BMNR is up 6% today, following the 2025 earnings release and Fusaka upgrade. Fusaka upgrade that we talked about yesterday, good for Ethereum overall. And did they actually have their earnings? I have not even checked. Bitmine. BMNR. I've not looked at stocks at all this week. Let me go to... Awesome, look at this price action. Are you excited? I am. Okay, come on now. Here we go. Earnings, brother. It was November 21st. I'm sure we kind of... Why will you not tell me what the numbers were? The CEO is Chi Tsang? I thought it was Tom Lee. Dude, who knows? And the guy keeps making crazy predictions too. I think he's out of his mind. I'm sorry, Tom Lee. But yeah. The US SEC has approved the first leveraged SUI ETF. Yes. Give the most volatile cryptocurrency more volatility. We're getting 2x exposure, and it's going to be listed on the NASDAQ. Who is it from, though? They were cracking down on leveraged ETFs. By the way, we covered this yesterday, but only for the higher ones. So from 3 to 5x leverage is now a big no-no. So 2x leverage is probably the max that they're going to allow you to do. And on SUI, dude, I think it's got more upside than downside potential from here. So maybe there's a good chance. Especially if SUI recovers, man. I mean, we saw what happened just a couple yesterday. 16% candle in 4 hours out of nowhere. Hey, but the opposite does happen too. SUI likes to drop from $3 to 50 cents on an October 10. So, you know, make of that what you will. Polymarket is officially live in the MetaMask mobile app. So this is one thing that I was complaining about is I tried downloading the Polymarket app. Oh, what is going on? I opened my phone here and it glitched. Polymarket, and doesn't work in Canada, doesn't work in the US. It's now starting to roll out in the US officially. So I'm sure it'll be a matter of time before we see something decent in Canada, although probably not. Who knows? But, I mean, you can access Polymarket through other means. Here's another one of them. MetaMask. If I download MetaMask, I could probably use Polymarket. I have not tried it yet, so I don't think I will, though. I don't like MetaMask. Last time I used MetaMask was for a school project when we were learning about Ethereum and blockchain and Ganache and Gwei and Wei and how expensive Ethereum was. And contract addresses. It was a big mess, but whatever. It was awesome. Introducing MetaMask prediction markets powered by Polymarket, the future prediction markets now in your wallet. I think I just covered Trust Wallet did this too, didn't I? Trust Wallet. I don't think I should click on their profile because I'm going to have to scroll through a bunch of garbage. Trust and Myriad is what they were partnered up with, not Polymarket, but they were going to include Polymarket and Kalshi in the future. Yeah, coming soon. This is the post that I covered. I remember. Do I trust Wallet? They're with Binance. I don't trust them, dude. Give me a Solana wallet that has a prediction market linked. I'm gonna have to research that. I'm sure there is, that exists, surely, right? But yeah. Kalshi is partnering up with CNBC, another prediction market, partnering up with the fake news. But it's basically to supercharge CNBC's reporting, unfiltered, accurate, and market-driven data. So basically, you know, the CNBC, I don't think they're fake news, but whatever. They say that they will use Kalshi prediction markets to kind of, you know, here's what the people think will happen to kind of report on their news. Who will be the next mayor? Because prediction markets do a good job at predicting some outcomes, especially when it comes to politics. Hey, so maybe that would be something good overall. And CNBC, now that we're on the topic, will be changing their logo. The previous logo, you know, with this rainbow fan, whatever it is. Can I, like... Are you serious now? You're not going to give me CNBC footage? We literally saw it. Here, this... You can see that, right? That's the previous CNBC logo. It's now going to be switching over to this. For better or for worse, I don't know. Don't care. Don't watch them anyway. My last bit of news. Within the past 72 hours... What is happening with Apple? Apple's AI chief steps down. Apple's head of UI design leaves to join Meta. I think their UI design is pretty trash, so maybe that's an upgrade. Policy chief steps down as well. Apple's head of general counsel also steps down. Dude, what is going on? Why are they all leaving? Has Apple even reacted to this? I've not looked at it. Apple. Dude, is this like permanently stuck in the 12-month chart? That was an accident. I just wanted to see what the S&P 500 was at. Apple. Yeah, a bit of a drop, but I mean, this looks like all-time high, dude. Yeah, dude, you're fine, dude. What are you panicking about? Apple was literally at all-time highs yesterday. Right? Is that real? Yeah, seems like it's real. Okay. There you go. Why are we panicking, guys? Just buy even harder at the top. You will not regret that. For legal reasons, that is a joke. Yeah. Has MicroStrategy just been... Let's slow down its drop a little. Good. I'm looking at the Canadian version of it. So you guys are not going to understand the prices. Okay, well, that is all. That is all the news I had for today. Not too bad. Okay, what to expect tomorrow? PCE data. That is the most important thing. And I will be awake for it. Finally. No work tomorrow. Or ever. Please hire me. I have a lot of good experience. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Trying to think. Any last little thing I could look at? Top movers. What are liquidation levels at? I've not looked at these in a year. You have so many shorts ready to be liquidated up here. Plenty, plenty. Couple billion dollars right there for free. If we break our high on Bitcoin. Tron overbought. Humanity Protocol still oversold from yesterday. What are you doing, dude? This really dumb project. Rose for no reason. Drop for no reason. USDT. It's not going to give me the right one. Here it is. Yeah, I don't know why. Why do we buy this thing, dude? Surely nobody's buying this. It rose to like number 80 in the market cap when it rose to 40 cents. I remember that. This has to do with like, it's a project that has to do with biometrics. Which, I mean, that's like so too far in the future that I don't even think might be implemented at all. Yeah, too speculative. I stay out of it, but it's there. Tron. What are you doing, Tron? Why is Tron rising? We have a Binance event, not a Tron event. It's only up 2%. Enough for it to be overbought, I guess. Yeah, it's on the rise. 28 cents. Sure, dude. I'm sure there's something on CoinMarketCap as to why we're rising. It's pretty decent movement. It's pretty large asset, 26 billion, with a lot of it owned by Mr. Justin's son. Can we know why we're rising? Network growth acceleration. I mean, that's just the rest of the market being so back in general. I don't think that would be the real reason. Stablecoin utility expansion. I doubt that. Well, okay, USDT, sure, USDT, because you can use USDT with Tron. Technical breakout, that is garbage. Yeah, I wouldn't trust the rise, if I'm being honest with you. But it's good overall. If it's rising like this, enjoy the gains, take your profits, move on. That is all for today. Thanks guys so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. We'll cover what happens with PCE data. We'll have a look at the rate cut odds. I'm going to show you one last time and we'll go over it tomorrow just to see how much of an impact it had on the odds, if I am smart enough to remember to do that. We're at 87 to 13%. Odds are ever so more in our favor. I think we're fine. Even if we get bad inflation data, like I said, I'll give you the numbers. If the inflation comes in higher than expected, so if the change is 0.3% higher than that, yeah, it's gonna suck. It's gonna bring some negative volatility. And then I think we're all just gonna realize, you know what, who cares? Jobs data is probably bad, so we're gonna still cut rates. And then the yearly inflation, it was previously at 2.7. We're expecting it to rise a little bit. I'm sure there's like very little decimal points here, but yeah. We're expecting it to rise either way, dude. We're fine. We could even beat those expectations toward the downside, right? Inflation is dropping. That would just make everything go much higher. So watch out for that. Good opportunities here. All right. Great. All in the stream now. Thanks for watching.